This podcast may contain swearing, lewd comments, personal opinions, discussions of sex, discussions of abstinence, movie reviews, gaming reviews, the likelihood of an increased intelligence, and the realization you're not getting this time back. It's ours now.
And welcome to another episode of the IMS crew with elusive Mikkel, Stag, and sometimes Cameron. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the Star Wars Battlefront data. Now, this is going to have our thoughts, feelings, perspectives, fucking shit going on about this particular gameplay, and, whether we think it's actually going to be worth it in the end. And we're going to start off with whoever takes the floor next. Go.
The Soulless map. I thought that's what we agreed on.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but whoever's opinion on this. Well, first we're going to be talking about the Soulless map and the actual gameplay for that. So, when you guys can take it.
Well, I like the jetpacks. That's where my input is.
Well, actually, no. That actually starts talking with more of what your character is, not what the map is. But we can start somewhere there. Let's go there. Starting off with some of the card items. Apparently, this game seems to be, instead of having a set equipment you drop into, because previous games you had a set equipment. Like, for instance, if you wanted jetpacks, you had to have been like that one stormtrooper class that had that shotgun, that charged shotgun from Battlefront 2. In this one, you can actually uniquely build your character the way you want to, and that's actually seems to be kind of a pro, because not everybody wants to have to be a class to get the perks they want.
And I gotta say, I do agree with that. My only thing is, I do like the ability, because, we're gamers, we love choice. So the more choice you give us, the happier we are. However, I do kind of wish there was some type of class, so to speak. But the other thing is, too, I was actually thinking about this the other day, believe it or not. As far as the weapons themselves, there's not many of them from what I've seen. Now, it may be, this is just the beta. They could have more guns in play. It could also be the fact that simply there weren't that many Star Wars guns to begin with in the actual, Star Wars universe in the actual movies. Because they basically photographed all of them and all that good shit. So my only concern is, once you end up unlocking all of them, what's there to, kind of keep going? That's basically my concern at this point.
Customization.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm sure they're gonna have, because they've actually played around with the idea of customization of your character. Looks, a lot of it's gonna be cosmetic. Weapons, card items aside, jetpacks, but just all that aside is something you work up to as per level. Now, what exactly more they're gonna add to it, I'm actually looking forward to seeing. But for the positive most part of it that I know, they will be putting more cosmetic items out there to kind of more customize the way you want to look, the way you want to feel as you're actually fighting in this universe.
Well, yeah, I get that, and I totally like that. It kind of reminds me of PlanetSide 2 a little bit. But my only problem is there's not enough guns, I think. Or I think that's actually going to rise. Because, okay, look at Battlefield 4, for instance. The last DICE game that came out. Look how many fucking guns they have, just with the basics. Now, granted, I know you don't have that many. I'm just concerned, okay, well, you reach a certain level, you've already got everything unlocked at, fucking level 20. So...
Well, they have the same thing with, COD and Battlefield. You always run out of something to unlock anyway.
True,
People
but
mostly just play it for the multiplayer feature, which is all this game possesses.
Yeah, no, and that is very true. My only concern is, you're going to end up running out of guns very quickly to do that, much more so than, say, Call of Duty or whatnot.
I think that the way they kind of the way they kind of, I want to say, conquer that obstacle of whether or not the limited weapons of use is possibly in the I want to say the art of randomization on that item pickups, which is one of the interesting features that actually this game hosts is the item pickups.
That I do like.
You
That's
pick
actually
up you
nice.
pick up this random little symbol thing for your faction, and it gives you a random item. And I think that's kind of one of the things they're aiming towards as far as, oh, we've got limited guns, but here, have this wonderful bundle of joy that you may get something useful or you just might be screwed.
Well, they all are pretty useful.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean,
I
whether it
mean,
be the thermal grenade, the smart rocket, or something like that. No, Cameron's got a point there. Um,
even the force shield actually works really well.
yeah, that it does. That's actually a really cool feature, I think, that I like. I mean, being able to like absorb an orbital strike is kind of cool. Um, but getting back to the actual heart of the matter would be, moving from here would be, actual the Solist or like team deathmatch type map. What do you guys think of that?
Okay, so moving over to that, actually, I think Mikkel has better input than that, since seeing how he's actually probably played more.
The bigger map, the snower map.
No, 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 no. It's
No, no, no. Solist.
the
It's the
Solus.
volcano.
Oh, okay. I liked how small and tactical it was. Actually, that everyone had to be specifically somewhere, someplace, like an advantage point is what I liked.
See, I
Hmm.
didn't like that. I didn't like all the random obstacles people can use to kind of hide behind.
I love that. You just
Yeah.
gotta be smarter than that.
I mean, it's nice if you're the one that's being chased, but when you're chasing someone, all they have to do is just run up some random rock,
Mm.
and it's
Yeah.
just you're basically dying unless you have that jetpack.
Like, hey, what's up, bitch? Yeah, I can see that, I guess. And Sag, what do you think of your limited gameplay with it?
Honestly, I thought the map was beautiful. So far, I'm actually enjoying a lot of the visuals, especially on that one. Um,
Hmm.
they do a very good job getting the point across on the map. It's not like, oh, hey, here's another map you can just play on, have fun. No, no, it's something that you're not just playing the map. You're literally living and feeling the map.
Yeah, you fall into those goddamn holes. And, oh, hey, man, lava.
You start losing your health, bitch. You ain't hiding. For me, I think probably the biggest thing, just being the sound nut that I am, I really like what they did as far as how they took care of, the Star Wars authentic sounds to everything. Um, just really sticklers for details. I mean, don't get me wrong, the graphics on it look just absolutely fucking phenomenal. Especially like the Solist map. Tatooine also looks really damn good. I can't wait to see what else they have. I know they're kind of limited on maps. That's the other thing I'm a little concerned about. But as far as like the detail, the quality, is typical DICE, like obsessive attention to detail. Um,
Well, back onto your comment about limited maps. Well, that's the whole point of DLC.
Yeah, well, that's beta, actually.
Well, beta.
Ye-
Well, you can only get two maps and then the solo campaign. But I mean, just like DLC, you could see that the other. I think there was 9 different game modes
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. There's a good number of them. It's just the limited number of maps. I don't know. It's kind of the reason why I didn't buy into Evolve. I mean, but I'm too much of a Star Wars fan to say no to something like this. So, especially it's been like what 2005 since the last Battlefront came out. So,
Yeah, but if you even look at like Battlefront 2, that one really didn't have that many maps either.
They
true, but
did
it
had
also
to
had
expand. I
Galactic
think they did.
Conquest.
Yeah.
They also did Galactic Conquest, which was like a single player version of it. Which is,
Yeah, I like that version. That was actually really fun.
yeah, well, that and space battles. That's another biggie, that I've
Yeah, but they
seen.
didn't really introduce that into this one.
I know, I know.
They
That's
might.
actually one of that's no. Well, they
No, I
might,
meant
but it's
there's a
gonna be.
spot for space battles. They just didn't have it available for the beta.
Well, yeah, but like that's
Well,
the
no,
only
no,
one
no.
I
thing I
think
like.
that right there might have just been part of the teaser. It's. I know that they probably weren't ready for it. I'm sure there's good reasons as to why they didn't put it out in the beta. There's probably a lot
Okay.
of bugs they're working on, but at the same time, let's just say there
No.
was a playable. I'm pretty
From
sure that would be a nice teaser, which in this case
Oh,
they
that's where I
do
spent all my time.
they really did a really good job teasing teasing it if that's what their plan was, because you get a taste of it during Walker Assault, which we'll go over it during a little bit later.
Later on.
But yeah, you get a small taste of it, and that in itself is very tease-worthy.
Well, okay, here's the thing. They have an air superiority mode. DICE has said they have no space battles in the game.
What?
It's all going to take place
This
on
is-
the actual
I'm done.
planet.
I quit.
I'm done. And that's the big outrage is, well, why the fuck not? I mean,
Well,
you guys have all
even
these
if you look
gorgeous visuals, everything else, you don't. I mean, you had that. It basically, the biggest problem has been with like the general community has been, space battles and single player campaign, the lack thereof. Now, I see the single player campaign as being, kind of a double-edged sword. I think with the short amount of time frame they had to actually get the game done, instead of pulling a, Battlefront 4 or Battlefield 4, type fuck up with, making the game like totally unplayable. They decided, okay, well, you know what? We're gonna do the multiplayer. We're gonna get it right, get it done, and then we're gonna introduce the single player campaign for like $20.
No, see, this is actually where I want to say no. They're sticking true to the game. Moving to Battlefield. Now you've got me on about it.
Battlefront.
Moving on to Battlefront 2. They didn't have really that much of a single player campaign in that either. It was more of just something to kind of trivial. It was trivia, kind of informational game. In Battlefront 2, you had the opportunity to play as one of the 501st. And they kind of give you a little bit of a trivia about the 501st as they played. It wasn't supposed to be.
I knew it.
It wasn't supposed to be
Story.
a story. Yeah, no, it was trivia.
That too.
Yeah,
right. About that. There was no
and-
story about Battlefront 2.
Yeah, so when you come over to here to playing, Star Wars Battlefront, it's not that it's not that their aim is to, hey, we got to have a single player with this. No. They're sticking really true to the originality of their first two copies, which was, we're gonna add just something to add just a little bit of trivia, maybe something a little bit just to entertain your fancy for, if you just, let's just say you don't want to play multiplayer, but just something to yeah, there you go, entertain your fancy for it. But that's just what they've always been doing.
But see, for $60, you would expect something like that. A lot of people expect something like that. Versus, because the thing
problem
is,
the kids these days, they expect.
well,
He's got a point. He's got a valid point.
Shit.
Oh my god.
But moving forward, that is definitely something that was actually within the realm of what's been stuck with the originality. No, we agree. I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree with you. For $60, you should be getting more. But I'm sure we haven't seen the tip of the iceberg. So until the actual game comes out, we're just gonna have to actually talk about what we see and what we know right now. But I mean, from what you can see from the menu, they did show there was a co-op mode, there was some single, and then there was a survival. So we can only hope that what they do with the remainder of their time from now to the release,
Which I think actually survival is my favorite.
Yeah, that might be my favorite too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and-
we all gonna get this game. We all know that.
Yeah, we all are.
Like, who
Well,
cares what the people are gonna get?
But
If you guys want to play with this, you get this game.
but let's go ahead and move on to that. Actually, moving on to Tatooine and the survival. Now, you know what? Let's go with Cameron. Cameron, you actually said you actually love that, so let's start you off with it.
I just like even the Tatooine. Like I also like the destructibility. Like when one of those pods came in, I know you kept commenting like how you feel like you're about to get smashed by the pod.
Yes. If
There's also,
go ahead. Actually,
especially that first one. I think it popped up on the upper right hand side of the map. It like there's like little like huts you could literally hide in.
Mm-hmm.
They
only kinda-
shot the hell.
Which would have worked perfectly if it wasn't for the fact that a Walker showed up and just basically blew everything up.
Oh yeah, the glory of the Frostbite engine.
yeah.
Say that and Dice's love for destructible environments.
Now,
Yeah.
there's something that I noticed that I actually enjoyed. If you have, and just a little bit of something for you audiophiles out there, if you have really nice sound systems with a really nice bass, if you're near that pod when it comes down, you will feel that pod when it comes down. The audio on this is actually really well done, much like how Elusive was saying earlier. The sound effects are very authentic. Everything is really well done, really well put together, all the way down to the explosions, the blasts, and everything. If you're an audiophile, you would definitely enjoy this. If you enjoyed the movies, you're gonna enjoy the sound effects. I mean, if you have the speakers for it, you will feel just as if you were actually in the battlefield itself. That's something else you can actually count on too. In more of the massive fights, the small chatter, such as something's incoming, or you've got a man down, or naturally your character would yell, much like how they did in Battlefield. You know, during in the midst
I
of
need a
playing
better
Battlefield,
over here.
you would
Yeah.
hear small
Man
chatter.
down.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling
This
about
poor
this.
bastard has a sprained ankle. He needs a bandage around his neck.
Yeah, he stepped in a pothole and hurt his neck.
Happens to me all the time, bro.
Mhm.
Can't tell you.
Yeah, well, that explains a lot.
We also do
Yeah,
play
I know.
before, so join us in that too.
But
Well-
yeah, no. So I mean, the audio wise, they've done a really good job. If you really want to immerse yourself into it, if you've got a surround sound system, do it. It is well worth it.
But back to the actual gameplay itself, as far as, single or two-player, essentially survival/horde mode. I know some people are thinking, "Oh God, I don't like horde mode when they put like a story in it or something like that." I mean, I'm perfectly okay with horde mode. But that's because I like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, so still play it on occasion and
We
love
don't-
every love every fucking minute of it. But
We all fucking still play that goddamn game.
But I seem to be in the minority in that regard. So I don't have any problem with it. I think it's good. I like the amount of. They announced today that they're gonna have like a heroes battle, where you just get to like
hold on.
play as the heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. I did not know
Yes.
that. This is news to me.
Yeah, they just announced it today. They've also got a couple other modes that they're introducing, where you get to fight as like either the Imperials or the Rebels for something in particular. So they do have a good number. They have like 4 or 5 other modes they announced today.
The only
But-
thing
well,
about those heroes is I think they feel like they fall too easily. Like when you sit there and see, a Jedi, you think, oh, they could take out like a squadron or two of.
Yeah, and a whole army
Of-
basically.
Yeah, and in this game, like literally, like I've watched like a group of 2 or 3 be able to take them out just by lobbing grenades.
Well, and to be honest, I would say I actually relate that
I don't know.
bad. I relate that to bad players at that point.
Like,
'cause
I don't know about
I've
you,
seen.
I want to
I'm putting
agree,
them on.
but I want to say
Yeah.
it's balanced because in actuality,
You can't
in-
sit there and call that balance when you sit there and make the, or at least in the
Moves.
ice planet. No, at least in the ice planet map, I think 3 of the 4 maps I've played, like when I played it, the stormtroopers won just because those walkers are freaking annoying to take out.
Okay, so first
Okay,
off,
well,
they
number
keep
one-
they keep the playability, and I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off there. They keep the actuality, the playability, and it's not one of those. Oh, hey, let's make this so ridiculous. Like, okay, inside Star Wars Battlefront 2, going back to that one, the hero was so ridiculous. They could take a couple of AT-AT blasts, which in real life, everybody knows a Jedi cannot take an AT-AT blast. If they shot to the side of the Jedi, concussion and everything else should actually naturally affect. Don't get me wrong. They're still human. They just know how to use the
Barely.
Force, which, yeah, barely. They still know how to use the Force, but the Force does not define them as an almighty God. That being said,
They might as well be an almighty
if-
god.
if a
Except for Darth
grenade
Vader.
blows up next to them, they're still going to take the shrapnel.
I don't know, bro. Darth Vader survived lava.
Yeah, he
Like,
survived.
I think he might be a god. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you got a point. But no. I do think they balanced it out pretty nice. The other thing is too the way it's played. as far as the actual characters, the people who don't block like the shit ton of laser blasts that are coming back at them, they're gonna die really quickly.
Yeah, that
Now,
was
if
me.
you, yeah, I would say if you actually like take the time, and play it how you should, as in blocking laser blasts. If somebody throws a grenade, you move quickly out of the way because you have the ability to totally dodge the shit out of grenades. Um, and then just go up, make that move to slice and dice basically everybody. I've seen people just absolutely massacre the living shit out of people. So it's not merely the simple fact that, yeah, no, they can die very easily if you play them wrong.
Yeah,
So I
well,
think,
just take
so,
myself for instance. Well, me.
um,
And that Jedi came out of nowhere. I screamed like a girl. I did. Nah, Lucifer was there.
yeah, no. Um, But so I think that definitely comes down to it. Now, as far as the balancing, this is all we're going to be saying about Walker Salt, and then we got to get back to Tatooine, because we've gotten totally way off course here. Um, as far as the actual balancing, they admitted in their Twitter accounts or Twitter feed, one of the major high ups, I forget his name. You don't come to us for news, so get used to it. Major high up ended up saying in his Twitter feed he acknowledges the fact that there's a balancing issue and that the Imperials are basically winning. Now the thing is, there's a couple tips. As far as being able to do better as the rebels, in case it doesn't come out totally balanced when it comes out. Which I mean, mine and Stag's opinion, it shouldn't be balanced, but that's a whole nother story. Because I
Wait,
mean,
wait, wait, hold on. Why don't you believe it should be that? It shouldn't be balanced. Just
well,
because
because okay,
Jedi's odds, Darth Vader's running around. I shit my
uh,
pants.
well, besides that, it should be the simple fact that in the movies they didn't win. So it should be harder for them to go ahead and win. I mean, look at the odds that they had stacked up against them. Now, the thing is, orbital strikes. If you actually end up if you check out Level Cap's channel, he ended up finding out that orbital strikes, when you have the shields down on the AT-AT walkers, do massive damage to them. You can basically take them from full health to almost dead in just like one salvo. They're that fucking effective. Um, Now the thing is, don't waste it on one that's almost dead. Focus it on the one that needs to die or has the most life. That way you make the most use of it. So you have little things like that. Grenades work really well. The other thing is the fighters. If you end up lobbing those, missiles, those also do a lot of damage. A shit ton more damage than everybody sitting there in a corner firing with their little blasters at the actual AT-AT walkers while somebody comes in with a grenade and wipes out 10 people all in one go. Not mentioning any names. um,
Me, all right.
No, he's actually referring to that one round that
yeah,
I
he
managed to
got
get
like
behind a group, and there's a whole firing line of them, and I threw a nice grenade in there, took out all but two, and then I had to hose down those two manually.
and they still didn't turn around, so it was
Yeah,
really good. Um,
it's too late.
But yeah, so I mean, there is ways around it. I believe I like the level that it was at. But that's kind of the thing. Anyway, um, back to Tatooine though. I like the horde mode. I like the fact that it ends up getting much higher. In the alpha, you could get to a much higher level than what you can in the
Beta.
beta for some reason. Because you only got up to like what, wave 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then I think at that point they were more finalizing the idea of playing around with difficulty levels. You can only get up to 6, and that's just normal mode. And as you could
Mm.
see there earlier, if you played the beta or if you didn't get to participate, they teased several other levels on there. There's like basically there's normal masters and then so forth and so on. And I think there's like 5, maybe 6 difficulty levels. I'm not looking at anything offhand right now, but um, yeah. You can make it harder. It's not gonna be something that's static.
Which is good. Platinum mode for the win.
Yeah, platinum.
Have fucking Mass Effect 3 characters coming out.
God.
In your dreams.
Banshees again. No!
She knows.
In your dreams.
About your sister.
But no, the survivability, the survival
sister.
mode is a
Speaking
real.
of it,
It's a real nice mode. Only because if you like the idea of just alright, if you want to get away from the monotony of fighting, constant battles online with other people, and then either just you're not having a good day, you're not having a good run, whatever it is, and you're just getting hosed several times, over and over and over. Survival is a good way to get away from that monotony. Just grab a good group of friends, put the setting on the highest one that you can possibly do, and then just laugh and sit back and have a good time before you all realize you're going to die.
See, the only problem I have with that is it's only 2 players.
is it?
It
Oh,
is.
okay. To be honest,
It's-
I kind of suspected that actually.
Yeah.
When I was playing it, the local playthrough, just a local, it was 2 players, and I'm just like, yeah, we're probably not gonna like this one too much. Like, because at least in Mass Effect 3, there was an option to have 4 people.
Yeah, I
Even
know.
though
I do like
better to
that.
have more. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Okay,
like,
so we
which-
can add that to the consensus, but no, moving forward, that is, so the survival mode is definitely something to get break away. It's definitely something to.
Fuck that game.
You
Moving
will burn in
forward,
Probably.
douchebags.
But I'll see you guys there.
Yeah. Parking spot ready for you.
The oh god, what was I supposed to say? Moving forward to the actual Hoth map at this point, because we've already kind of touched base on
Walker Assault.
Walker Assault.
Or otherwise known to Battlefield 4 players everywhere as Conquest Mode.
All right,
Mhm.
so looking at this beautiful mode, essentially there are 2 walkers, and their objective is to blow up the crap out of the shield generator. But the rebels' job is to kind of stop that. So you've got the 2 opposing forces of the
What?
Imperials.
Wait,
and
they
the
want to
rebels.
stop that?
They want to stop the AT-ATs from actually getting towards firing range within their shield generators.
Why
so,
would they want that?
Reasons.
smart guys.
Reasons.
But the one of the way they stop that is actually by going to these uplinks, which when they activate one fully, it allows them to send a signal up to where you've got I believe
Y-wings.
Y-wings, yes, Y-wing bombers to actually come down and ionize the AT-AT's shields, so that way their armor in particular, to make them more vulnerable to shots and fire and so forth. Otherwise, they are completely invulnerable. Don't try just shooting one; it doesn't work.
I'm the
As we
idiot that
see,
did
I would
that.
say as we see Mikkel standing underneath shooting at it.
Yeah, right.
Hey man, I did some real
And
good against that thing.
This map is actually really beautiful, really well done. The sounds are, once again, it goes back to really authentic, and I like how the pace of it. They make it to where it is still very hectic. You have to destroy those AT-ATs, but at the same time, they give you plenty of time to try to do so, and they do it in various, and I mean extremely various many ways to do so. Whether or not you're on the ground and you're trying to stop the forces from pushing forward, or you're in the air trying to gain air superiority, which do not be fooled. Just because you see a bunch of things flying in the air doesn't mean they're not useful. They are very useful. Air superiority can sometimes actually mean the game. If you actually have the air superiority, let's just say like Rebels, if they have air superiority, they can actually help out by blowing off some of the minor scrubs on the floor, while they're trying to help their forces push forward to capture uplinks. And then when an uplink is captured, they can actually lay a massive amount of damage onto those AT-ATs if air superiority is held.
Well,
Well, not even that. Like, I like how even your firearms themselves will actually destroy those things too.
Yeah.
Especially,
Yeah, this is
especially
true.
with one of their upgrades, because they don't make it to where you have to have air superiority to win. It's very crucial.
It really fucking helps.
But yeah, it's not like there is other ways to win, not just through the air.
Yeah, but it also makes your life a hell of a lot easier when you don't have fucking tie interceptors raining down hell from above. So,
You know, I
Like,
actually I actually didn't get taken out too much
yeah, just like the airplanes
by
didn't even bother me. They were like, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, you gonna fly off or you gonna shoot me? We're gonna fly off, but we'll be back." I wasn't there. I was inside.
but yeah, no. The other thing is too. The other thing I forgot to mention is okay, for the rebels you have two uplink points you have to capture. Or if you're the Imperials, what your whole job is to stop them from actually getting the rebels from getting those two uplinks and being able to get up to four Y wings to come in. Because not only will they will keep the shields down for a much longer period of time if you're capable of doing so. Um, However, once again, the rebels are at a disadvantage. They are going up against AT-AT walkers, snow troopers technically. You've got Darth Vader, you've got AT-ST walkers, and then you also got TIE fighters are also trying to do like little strafing runs. Um, on the Rebel side, you don't have any land vehicles whatsoever. You've got a bunch of turrets that you can use, but once again, those can also be used by the Imperials. Now, the other thing, as well as the only support you have besides Luke, the hero in that particular map, is the fighters. Now, and when the way it starts out is you have X-wings for the rebels as your first fighters. On the Imperial side, all you have is your standard X-wings, or not X-wings, TIE fighters. My bad. As the game progresses, there comes a certain point where you end up unlocking on the Imperial side TIE interceptors. Now, the way that they handle is, TIE fighters themselves, they are incredibly nimble. They are very fragile vehicles. They have like little to no shielding, very good weapons.
they're also kind of hard to fly with the little extensions they have up against the ground. I constantly kept running up against the ground.
Like that was
Exactly.
me actually. My issue with the flying.
Yeah, I would say,
That
and
depth
then.
perception, though.
Well, it's
um,
not even that. I mean, they actually handled pretty all right too.
mhm. Yeah, they're pretty nimble.
I ran
Um,
into so many turrets.
I can't do shit. But anyway, the other thing is the TIE interceptors are even more nimble. They're much quicker, much more agile vehicles, and they also have more firepower in the form of 4 laser cannons versus the 2 laser cannons that are on the TIE fighters. Now, on the opposite side, you have the X-wings, which are basically they're not as good at handling. They're not as nimble, but they can take a lot more heat than what the actual TIE fighters can. They've also got 4 laser cannons, so they've also got. If you can get behind a TIE fighter and keep them there, you're going to take them down pretty quickly. In addition to the rockets that you have as well. Then finally, during the later stages, what you end up getting is the A-wing. Now, in my opinion, it has basically the same speed as the TIE interceptor, but it also has a shielding option that you have on the X-wing as well. So it can take more of a hit. Is just as agile, but it seems the actual dual laser cannons seem to be really well made for like taking out ground troops and whatnot. So that's one of the things I kind of noticed. Any opinions on that?
Yeah, it's gonna say how we kind of hit like a dead zone right there.
So to be honest, I don't even know what's going on right now.
His
I'm not like the biggest Star Wars fan here, so I have no idea
well,
what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I'm just like, hey, what's that? I don't know.
It sounds
it
bad.
blows stuff up. It blows stuff up good.
Yeah, that's all I know. It's like, if I can kill somebody,
GG, get good, son. Oh,
Um,
and 20.
But no, I mean like, and going to that or sticking to that right quick. They stick pretty true with the way the conception of their flight flight fighting capabilities are, as far as that, and it's actually really well balanced
Flighting
because
capabilities.
no flight fighting capabilities. You can't just have
Flighting.
You can't have flight, just flight.
You can have flight. No, dude,
No,
it's a new
flight
word. Just
fighting.
made it up. It's
Okay,
flight and
oh.
fighting.
Okay.
Be honest,
Moving
guys.
forward. So the Yeah, so basically the overall consensus, or moving closer to the end of the review, or what we actually
Well,
our thoughts.
And so there you have it. As it turns out, the actual gameplay itself, we seem to be in a general consensus. Other than Cameron, who's not the biggest first-person shooter fan.
But I
We
actually
all.
like the game.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
I know, but fuck
No.
first-person shooters.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I
All
was
right,
expecting
then.
here. All right, I know is that the game itself. We had a lot of fun with it. It was kind of refreshing, and actually nice to see an actual decent Star Wars game out again.
Just coming from the one who couldn't play it.
Shut up! You don't know that.
He's got a point.
Oh God, that's messed up, Cameron.
Is
Shots fired.
It's okay.
Friendly fire.
It's all right. Shut up, Cameron. Is
So it begins.
the simple yeah, exactly. It's the simple fact that it has solid gameplay, excellent audio quality, amazing visuals. However, it also seems to be a little bit lacking in certain areas. Now, that can be drastic things to some people and not so much to others, such as ourselves, with single player campaign and lack of weaponry, that sort of thing. However, overall, we give it a good score. We're kind of really
we?
looking forward to this.
Do we give it a good
if
score?
If you're let's put it this way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all giving it a pretty good score. The consensus I'm seeing here, if you're looking for something that you can play, if you're trying to buy this just for the fact that you can sit home and play it by yourself, then this is definitely not going to be the game for you. They stick very true with their multiplayer capability with Battlefront. The game was designed and meant to be played with other people. So that massive massive war scale battle that's going on, much like the previous versions. This sticks very true to that. So if you're interested in that large battle kind of feel, wanting to have been in those historic moments inside Star Wars, and a hardcore Star Wars fan, this is the game for you. It sticks to it. The sound, the visuals, the quality, everything sticks very well to it.
And it goes third person.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
It's got your third person in there, so I mean, there you go, for you third person fans. But if you're actually looking to this for it to be like a one hit wonder where you can just buy it, play it through once, and then just be done with it, it's definitely not one of those games. It's one of those games that this is supposed to entertain you for hours on end. So, overall, do we recommend this?
Yes.
I recommend it.
Definitely recommend the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get it. I don't give a two craps what everyone else might get. I don't know why I hesitated. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And what he meant to say, but fucked it up, is he gives no fucks if you get it or not.
Yeah. Like, if you want,
That's what Google Translator said.
Yep.
is it or the fact that Cortana doesn't understand?
That could also be it. But guys, I'm saying we're gonna be doing this a lot more often. We're gonna have more reviews, more actual videos. We're gonna try and get some actual just podcasts up on SoundCloud. So don't forget to like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Are you gonna be getting it? If so, what are some of the features that you wish were actually in the game? If there was anything we missed, go ahead and please let us know. And thank you once again for listening to the IMS Crew.